Welcome to this guided meditation to overcome the fear of failure and perfectionism. I'd like to invite you to take a seat to see if together we can discover what is behind the fear of failure. So settle in however you wish. Make a conscious decision to take in a couple of nice deep breaths without force. And every time exhale more slowly. Even if your mind is busy, stay with this session, because your subconscious mind will hear everything anyway, whether your mind is focused or distracted. And as you continue to breathe in this way, connect to the feeling of fullness on the inhale, and a slower, longer, steady exhale every time. Doing well. And you might now detect the feeling of your heartbeat. And you may notice now a slightly slower pulse of your heartbeat. I'd like you now to focus on the feeling through your legs and hands. And I'd like you to imagine that your hands and feet are getting heavier. Maybe even filling up with something heavy. Or simply imagine that they are gently weighted. With every out-breath, feel your arms getting weighty, settling in your lap or by your sides. And your legs grounding down, your feet feeling as heavy as lead. And as your feet and legs pull gently downwards, you can imagine any nervous energy discharging dissolving into the earth beneath you. And as you continue to breathe, imagine that you are pulling your energy in, your thoughts in, pulling in any scattered thoughts, so that the extremities of your body get calmer and calmer. As any twitch in the fingers, restlessness in the toes subsides to pleasant stillness. And at any time, you can move, adjust with steady, certain movements. You can feel yourself pull your energy in, all that scattered energy, all those racing words. And as you notice the words, the thoughts, your feelings, be kind. Bringing your feelings and thoughts closer. Acknowledge them. Good. I wonder now if you can reflect on what perfectionism means to you. What does it really mean to be perfect? Is this in every part of your life? And what do you think that this adds to your life? How does it improve your life? And what else do you feel comes with these perfectionist thoughts? What's the feeling attached? Does it feel calm and relaxing, or tense and tight, to feel about what you believe you need to achieve? Take a minute to reflect on the feelings, the words. This is all good awareness. Our minds play tricks on us To get control of our lives, we focus on the external world, our own performance, our work output. And this is also what the modern world teaches us, to value ourselves by our output. But to really feel a sense of control, a sense of value, we need to take control of our mind, the inside state. And there's something else I'd like you to consider. If you want to be perfect at something, how do you know what perfect is? Are you comparing to someone else? Or is it something you have created in your mind? And perhaps you can allow in the idea that perfectionism is a way to avoid criticism. Perhaps that is the belief. Does this resonate for you? And if so, if this is the case, is it therefore not true that you are living your life according to someone else's standards? An invention created by someone else that exists only in their mind. And if it exists only in their mind, they can change their mind. Ask yourself, who is running your life? We cannot live our lives seeking someone else's approval, or living in fear of someone else's criticism. And if there is no one else involved, is there a judgment that you make of yourself? That you have to be perfect in every moment? It is normal to feel you want your defenses up. We can get comfortable with our own inner critic voice. And there may be a belief that if you let that criticism continue, it will lead you to better performance. The more we criticize ourselves, the more we activate the primitive part of the brain, And by activating the critical part of the brain, we can only focus on fear. We shut down our higher thinking. We lose the ability to be creative, to find solutions. And in a state of fear, we perform worse. It has been proven that those who see themselves as perfectionists are actually the worst performers. Those who practice over and over are the highest performers. And the question is why? They improve their skills, yes, but there's something else. They fail over and over. They are comfortable failing. And in fact, it isn't failing. What they are doing is learning. Failure is only failure if you didn't learn from it. Then it becomes a lesson. Lessons become wisdom. Wisdom feeds skill, and skill leads to success. Is there a belief that by seeking to be perfect, we become invincible, immune to criticism? Is this really true? There is a point when pleasing others at our own expense becomes a disease to please, that makes us ill, that enslaves us to another's mind. Someone once said, to avoid criticism at all, we must do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. You are not nothing. You are someone. You are more than your output. And even if you cannot say it for yourself, I will say it for you. You are a valuable person. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to live your life. not a life designed by the inner or outer critic. Someone else's opinion of you does not decide the standards that you must meet for your life. It is time to take a step back, to look at your life and decide, is this the life I want? Breathe in and out. Let your defenses relax. And if you're wondering now what it would be to live your life according to your values, according to what makes you happy, ask yourself now, what is it that makes you happy? What brings you joy? Take a moment now to think about how do you want to live. Whether you realize it or not, you are doing wonderful work right now. There is no output to show just yet. But just like a seed planted, growing underground, you are starting powerful, positive changes. As all of us operate subconsciously most of the time, it is only with awareness that we can start to decide, do I want this life as it is? Do I want to make a change? And you may think to yourself that you cannot tolerate repeated failing. And I can tell you that this is simply not true. Everything you do today, every daily routine habit, is something that you had to learn. Learning to eat as a baby, you didn't criticize yourself, did you? You had to eat. You learned to eat, and you may have ended up with food on your face, but at that time you didn't care. And learning to walk, you didn't think about falling. You thought about getting up again. And some babies may be more curious, and some babies may have cried, but they all get up again. Life has its moments of hurt, its moments of tears. But every baby that learned to walk stood back up again. And so just like that baby self, you can learn to get up from failure, to stand up again. And at some point your baby self never felt shame and fell down 1,000 times before they learnt to walk. And at some point as we get older, we learn to attach shame to failure. We learn this from the way others talk to themselves, the way others are towards us. And perhaps you start to realize that success is not a final point. Success is a process of 1,000 steps. And those steps are not in a straight line, not always predictable, not always the best. Along the path to success are the moments of falling down. And can you see now how failures can indeed be the stepping stones to success? And decide now, are you going to focus more on the falling down or focus more on the getting up? And you will follow this pattern, shifting your focus now to every time you got up, to every time you learned something from that stumbling block. From now on, you can realize that you don't need to ignore your failures. You simply need to allow in space to also consider your successes. We are all stumbling our way forward. And in fact, you may start to realize that perfection simply doesn't exist. That perfection is simply a construct of the mind that keeps us trapped. In the same way now that you may realize that failure too is an illusion. There is no such thing as failure so long as you learn. So long as you get up again. So long as you fail forward. So decide now to make success a habit. To be the best photographer. Take 1,000 imperfect photos. And every day from now on is an act of loving kindness. At some point in the day, I'd like you to pick one moment from the day, one success, something where you feel you have grown, something you have done with courage, and I want you to celebrate it. And simply give yourself 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your day to meditate on this success. And slowly but surely, in this simple but powerful act, you will start to rewire your brain for self-compassion. And as you allow in more joy, more loving kindness to yourself, you are setting yourself up not for perfection, but for higher performance. And as this meditation comes to an end, I will leave you with this image of your resilient, courageous, resourceful baby self, as I remind you that failure is not final. As you start to build a daily habit of success, as you start that journey of 1,000 steps.